By mid-1944, the Battle of the Atlantic was entering its final phase. The Allies had gained the upper hand, but the German U-boat fleet continued to operate from bases along the French coast. Convoys still crossed the Atlantic every day, and every crossing carried the same risk. In response, the U.S. Navy deployed hunter-killer groups built around escort carriers. Their mission: locate and destroy the remaining U-boats before they could reach the shipping lanes. One of those groups was Task Group 22.3, commanded by Captain Daniel V. Gallery. The force consisted of the escort carrier USS Guadalcanal and 5 destroyer escorts: Chatelaine, Pillsbury, Jenks, Flaherty, and Pope. They patrolled the tropical waters west of the Cape Verde Islands. The group had been at sea for 2 weeks. Sea state: calm. Visibility: 8 miles. Temperature: 26 degrees Celsius. Their target that day was U-505, a Type 9C U-boat built at Deutsche Werft, Hamburg. Commissioned May 1941 under Kapitän Lieutenant Axel Olaf Lova, she displaced 1,120 tons surfaced and 1,232 tons submerged. Length: 76.76 meters. Crew: 48. By 1944, U-505 had completed 12 patrols, sinking 8 Allied ships, totaling 44,962 tons. Mechanical reliability was poor. Flooding and engine failure were common. Now, under Oberleutnant Harold Lang, she was on her 13th patrol. Low on fuel, batteries deteriorating, morale reduced. Contact: at 10:50 a.m., 4th June 1944, USS Chatelaine detected a sonar contact 200 miles southwest of the Cape Verde Islands. The operator reported a faint metallic echo at 1,800 yards, bearing 145. Captain Gallery ordered all ships to battle stations. Depth charges were prepared and dropped in a 3-pattern sequence. The third run detonated directly above the submarine's position. A column of oil, debris, and compressed air broke the surface. Inside U-505, the shockwave shattered gauges, blew open watertight doors, and jammed the dive planes. Water poured into the aft compartments. The main ballast tanks ruptured. Lang ordered an emergency blow. At 11:09 a.m., U-505 surfaced abruptly at a 40-degree angle. The conning tower rose first, followed by the forward deck and gun mount. Gun crews aboard Chatelaine and Pillsbury opened fire with 20mm and 40mm cannon to prevent manning of the deck guns. An aircraft from Guadalcanal strafed the hull to keep the crew disoriented. Inside the submarine, diesel exhaust filled the control room. The order to scuttle was given. Demolition charges were set in the radio room and forward torpedo compartment. At 11:21 a.m., the crew abandoned ship. Pause long. Lieutenant Albert David, executive officer of Pillsbury, led a boarding party of 8 men. Their orders were simple: prevent the submarine from sinking. They approached from the starboard quarter, matching the slow drift of the damaged vessel. The air smelled of diesel and cordite. David jumped first, landing on the slick deck just aft of the conning tower. Below decks, the engine room was flooding. Scuttling valves were open. David and machinists mate Arthur Knispel located the valves and closed them manually with pipe wrenches. 2 demolition charges were found and thrown overboard. Electricians cut main power to prevent sparks in flooded compartments. Signalmen collected charts, radio logs, and cipher equipment. Most valuable was an Enigma machine, lifted from the radio room and passed up through the conning tower. After 30 minutes of work, flooding was contained and the engines secured. At 11:52 a.m., U-505 was under American control. Captain Gallery sent a short-coded message: "Have prize in tow." It was the first time a fully operational enemy submarine had been captured intact at sea. Secrecy and tow. The operation was classified immediately. Germany was not informed of the loss. 59 survivors were taken aboard and isolated from communication. They were told their submarine had been destroyed. The fleet tug USS Abnaki took U-505 under tow toward Bermuda, 1,600 miles west. Average speed 6 knots. Duration 11 days. Engineers from the Office of Naval Intelligence examined the boat en route. At Bermuda, the submarine was concealed inside a floating dry dock and listed as USS Nemo. Recovered materials included codebooks, rotor settings, and tactical manuals, later transferred to Allied cryptanalysis centers. The intelligence from U-505 improved Allied interception rates across the Atlantic. Convoy losses dropped to their lowest levels of the war. Lieutenant Albert David received the Medal of Honor. 9 others earned the Navy Cross. Task Group 22.3 returned to Norfolk on the 19th of June 1944, under strict silence orders. The capture remained classified until after Germany's surrender. After the war, U-505 was transferred to the United States, and in 1954 delivered to Chicago. Transported 900 miles over land, she became a permanent exhibit at the Museum of Science and Industry. It remains the only Type 9C preserved in the Western Hemisphere. Between 1939 and 1945, Germany commissioned 1,162 U-boats. 783 were lost at sea. More than 30,000 sailors died. U-505 survived, captured, preserved, silent. A machine built for secrecy, defeated by persistence. Her hull stands as evidence of a war fought in darkness, measured in sonar echoes and pressure hulls. This was the capture of U-505, a single operation that turned a weapon of war into a vessel of memory.